So before I get on to the best credit cards to use here in the UK in September 2021, that'll be in the second half of the video, the best 0% purchase, the lowest fee transfer cards, the cheapest ones to use overseas, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to take you through some offers and news for other credit cards that have happened in the last few weeks. The most of these relate to welcome bonuses for American Express. And what's really interesting about these 3 bonuses is that you potentially can get them even if you already have an American Express credit card right now. A lot of the time, these welcome bonuses are restricted. You can't have had a Amex card in your name in the last 24 months. But depending on which card you currently have, or even if you don't have any at all right now, you can still potentially grab one of these. Now, let's start off with the British Airways credit cards. There were 2 of these and 2 welcome bonuses. Now, last month, I did take you through the changes that were due to come in and now are in place since the 1st of September 2021. These cards now work slightly different when it comes to things like companion vouchers. So check out that video if you're interested in these in terms of collecting Avios points. But if you are willing to convert these into Nectar points, which you can do now, then they also have a cash value. You don't have to use them towards flights. And this is why I'm kind of sharing it with you right now. And with these 2 cards, you can get the welcome bonuses as long as you haven't had one of these cards already, or don't already have one of these cards, or haven't in the last 24 months. Which means if you've got the Preferred Rewards Gold card, if you've got the Platinum Cashback credit card, whatever it is, as long as it's not a BA Amex, you can get these welcome bonuses. So the first one is the free BA card, the American Express BA credit card. You will get 10,000 bonus Avios points when you spend £1,000 on this card in the first few months. You also get 1 Avios point for every £1 that you spend. So those 11,000 Avios points, if you do convert them into Nectar points, that's worth 88 quid. Okay, so that is, if you're going to spend that money anyway, you've already got an Avios, American Express card elsewhere, 88 quid is a nice little extra. There are better welcome offers if you're just looking for your first American Express credit card, and I'll talk about that later on. Now, the next British Airways American Express card is the Premium Plus credit card. The fee on this is now 250 quid. It jumped up on the 1st of September, so you've got to factor this 250 quid fee in. But the bonus points here are 40,000 Avios points. That's worth 320 quid. Plus, don't forget, you'll get points every time you spend. And it's actually 1.5 Avios points for every £1 you spend. So that £3,000 you spend will also earn you, I think it's equivalent about 36 quid in Nectar points as well. So we're looking at £356 in Nectar points if you do that conversion. Knock off that 250 quid fee, £106. But you can also, once you've hit that target, once you've spent £3,000 in those 3 months, downgrade if you want that card to the free BA card if you really want to do that one, or cancel it. But either way, your fee will be refunded pro rata. So you'll knock that down massively, that 250 quid. Let's say you do it immediately after those 3 months. And what's that going to be? It's going to be about 60 quid off your total that you'll pay for those 3 months. So that will give you a really nice little return there, potentially almost coming up to £300. So that one, again, and the other one, remember, you can have these with any Amex card that you currently hold. You can apply for these, get these bonuses if you make that minimum spending, as long as you don't already have, or in the last 24 months, had one of those 2 other cards. Now, the other welcome bonus is with the American Express Platinum credit card. Not the Platinum Cashback or Cashback Everyday cards we just talk about a lot, the Platinum card. Now, I don't talk about this one very often, if really at all, because it comes with a massive fee. Right, wait for it. £575 a year, right? Huge, huge, huge fee. That is, yeah, it's hefty, right? Now, it does come with benefits. It comes with free travel insurance for the year. It comes with free airport lounges. You might get upgrades in hotels or things like that. But for most of us, that's not going to be relevant. We aren't going to take advantage of those little extras and promos. So it's not, I personally don't think it's worth the fee. However, their welcome bonus is massive. And again, some people with existing credit card holders, American Express credit card holders, will be eligible. Not as many as with those BA cards, but still a huge number of you. The ones who don't get it is anyone which is already on a reward scheme. So that is the gold Preferred Rewards card. It could be just the plain American Express Rewards card or the green American Express card, or if you already have this Platinum card. If you have them, sadly, you aren't eligible for this welcome bonus. But if you've got the Platinum Cashback credit card, the Platinum Cashback Everyday credit card, the Nectar card, maybe you've already got one of those BA cards, you will be eligible for this offer. And this welcome offer is 60,000 Amex Rewards points if you spend £6,000 in 6 months. So you've got longer to spend that money, although it is a huge amount of cash. Now, if you convert those 60,000 Amex Reward points into Nectar points, again, go to Amex Rewards to Avios to Nectar rather than straight to Nectar because you get a little bit of a boost then, that's worth 480 quid. But you will also get, for those first £6,000 you spend, you'll get 6,000 points, 1 point per £1 spent. So that's another 48 quid. So you're looking there at what we're talking here, £526, okay? Apply via cashback site, you get 35 quid from top cashback. So you're knocking out that fee straight away. But you might think, well, what's the point of me doing this, right? Just because I can get this bonus, all those points or that spending I do are going to be wiped out by that fee. Well, just as you can cancel the card, the BA Premium Plus card, and get a refund, you can do the same with this one. So whenever you hit that £6,000 spend, now that might take you the full 6 months, you might do it in 2 or 3 months, depending if you've got some big purchases coming up. And we have got Christmas coming along, so there's a lot of spending going on there. If you cancel your card then, you'll get a refund on the rest of it. So let's assume it takes you 6 months to spend £6,000 and then you cancel it. You'll get roughly £287 and 50 pence refunded. Obviously, it might depend exactly when you cancel it and so on. But that means already you're making a bit of profit there, aren't you? And you factor in that £35 cash back and yeah, that's what, £275 in profit, pretty much. That's good. That's a really strong amount. And what's interesting, don't forget, while you've got this card, you'll also get those benefits like the travel insurance if you do go away. And there's another offer right now, which I can't guarantee if you apply for the card now that you'll be able to add it to your card. I've seen some sort of talk online that maybe if you phone them up, once you've got the card, then Amex will add it on if there's still availability. But this is a cracking offer. And it's well worth checking this out if you've already got the card as well. This would give you £200 restaurant credit at some really, really nice places. So you've got Hawksmoor in London, you've got Bob Ricard in London. Around the country, there's less options, but loads of the Ivy brasseries, which are, again, there's a number of them all around the UK. They're included in it as well. Basically got £200 to spend on that card. So if you can get this offer, plus those welcome points, plus you cancel it 6 months in advance. Hey, if you cancel it soon, you'll get even more money. Then potentially that is a kind of close to sort of £500, £475 profit that you'll make on that card. Now you've got to remember, spend at least 6k in 6 months. If you don't think you can do it, it won't be the card for you. But if you already had a welcome bonus recently on those other cards, apart from the gold card or the reward card, then that's well worth looking at. Now the next thing to tell you about is another new scheme, but this time it's from Marks and Spencer's Bank. Now the M&S Bank credit cards aren't bad at all. They sometimes do decent sort of balance transfers or decent 0% purchase offers. But really, the reason you might want to go for them if you aren't after those is just because you spent a lot of money at M&S, because you get the equivalent of 1% back at Marks, which is pretty decent. Sometimes you get more than that with different promos. They've launched something called M&S Club Rewards. Now this will, in exchange for £10 a month, give you things like double points in your first year. So that could be 2% at M&S shopping. If you shop there a lot, that's really good. 32 hot drink vouchers throughout the year to use in M&S cafes. And there will also be a £12 M&S voucher to spend at M&S food halls on your birthday, £20 voucher to spend on clothes at home at Christmas, and then you also get £15 vouchers 3 times a year to spend on clothing on home as well. So you get one of those in spring, one of them in summer, one of them in autumn, and obviously that winter one is that sort of slightly larger Christmas bonus. So add that all together, that's a healthy amount of extras that you're going to be given. But like I said, there is that £10 fee. Now, I put a whole review of this over on the website. I will link to it so you can kind of read the thing in detail. But I'll give you a kind of quick summary of how much I think you can make from this. Now, let's start with the vouchers. They seem to be the kind of the best thing you're going to get with this card. £65 worth of clothing and home vouchers, £12 of food vouchers, that's 77 quid. Let's assume you shop at M&S anyway, you're going to spend that money anyway on those things. Let's knock that money off that annual fee of 120 quid. It leaves us with £43. That's what we're spending for the other things. Now, the coffee vouchers, the hot drink vouchers, you will get 8 of these every quarter, right? So that seems like a perfectly decent, if you're going to go to an M&S cafe and if you're going to buy a drink for a couple of quid, 2-3 quid, something like that, then that will, and you use all of those, that will be easily well above that. So you are straight away going to be saving money elsewhere once you've kind of used all those vouchers. But I guess my question to you is, if you are going to get a coffee, are you going to go to an M&S cafe for that just because you've got this voucher? Have you got other deals or other places you'd rather go instead? So I'm kind of a bit ambivalent about using this one to factor into your fee. I think it's a nice little extra and maybe you will use them all. But again, I wouldn't sort of say it's a reason to get it. You do get free delivery with M&S, next day delivery. Although actually, that's only £3.50 on orders under 50 quid. So if you shop with M&S regularly, there's a good chance you're probably making orders more than 50 quid, or you can collect it for free from your local shop. So again, I'm not so excited about that as an option. You do get extra points in that first year. Double points is pretty good for M&S spending. You also get spending extra points if you spend overseas. But all that does effectively wipe out the fee that you were charged for spending overseas and making it a fee-free card to spend abroad. But there are other options out there as well. So really, I'm not really sure who this is going to benefit massively. If you shop at Marks & Spencer's all the time, let's say you do all your supermarket shopping there every week, right? It's going to be an expensive shop. So you're going to be earning extra points for that first year, which is good. And that will add up. Or you buy all your clothes from M&S, then yeah, okay, you are going to sort of, again, earn extra points from going there. And if you do get your teas and coffees from an M&S anyway, and you do that, 3 weeks out of 4 every month, then again, yeah, you're going to get your kind of value for money here. Anyone else, I think just avoid it. It's not a scheme that's going to be particularly good for you. Because these offers do get sent out quarterly, I do wonder whether there's a way you could game it maybe. For example, that voucher you get sent on your birthday for £12, is there a way that you can apply in time for them to send you that voucher? How far in advance does that voucher get sent before your birthday? Could that coincide with these quarterly vouchers that get sent through? Again, £15 every month on clothes. But I also wonder whether they might be back-led, so you get £15 for the next 3 months, or is it £15 for the last 3 months? So if you've only just joined, do you only get them once you've been with the card for a while? It's too early to say just yet how that's going to come out. If you've used this card, if you sign up for this scheme, let me know if there are little hacks that might mean you don't have to spend 120 quid for the entire year. Maybe you can do it just in as and when you need to use the card. Now, very quickly, while we're talking about cards, 2 other things to let you know about, small things. One of them, you're probably already aware of this. I've got a whole video that I did earlier this year talking about it, but the contactless limit will be going up to £100 from the middle of October for both credit and debit cards. Again, check out that video if you want more information on that. And also, a small little thing, but MasterCard has announced that over the next sort of decade, so it's going to take a while for this to happen, but they will be phasing out that magnetic strip on their cards. And I'm sure the likes of Visa and American Express will follow suit as well. Basically, with chip and pin and with contactless, it's hardly getting used anymore. So that kind of long magnetic strip that on the back of your card will start to disappear. Right, let's get into the top cards for September 2021. Before I do that, as ever, I'd like to give you a quick rundown of the rules of credit cards. First of all, if you are applying for a credit card, make sure you go via an eligibility checker first of all. This is vital, okay? This is making sure that when you do kind of actually apply for the card, you've got a sense of how likely it is you're going to be accepted, because any rejection you get will be shown on your credit report. That is a bad thing. You don't want to get rejected on a credit report, because if you apply for another one, that's another application. If it's rejected there, another, and it all kind of compounds and makes it harder and harder for you to get those products when your credit report is checked. So make sure you go via an eligibility checker. That could be directly on the credit card provider's own website or via a comparison site. Next up, once you've got that credit card, please don't use it for any spending that you can't afford. Now, I appreciate not everyone has access to savings or the salary coming in for everything. And that might mean you might be tempted to buy things on credit. The problem here is you will get charged interest. And that interest can be very, very, very expensive with credit cards. Maybe not as bad as overdrafts, but it's still very expensive. I would look elsewhere first of all. If you're short of cash, look for other ways to get some money. Now, there are some cards I'll talk about later on, the balance transfer and the 0% purchase credit cards, which actually are slightly different, and they are quite good ways to spread out the cost of spending or reduce the cost of debt to things you can't necessarily afford right now. However, on the whole, clear your balance every single month, particularly with cashback cards, because any points that you earn, any money that you make will be wiped out by their interest. So when I go through these cards right now, I am not going to give you the interest rates because I do not want you to get charged interest on your credit cards, okay? If this is something you think is going to be relevant, then you obviously need to factor that in when you're looking on comparison sites, looking at different cards that are available to you, looking at those eligibility checker. You might want to go for the one. In fact, you probably should go prioritize above everything, the one with the lowest interest rate that's out there. But ideally, in the ideal world, please make sure you either set up a standing order or a direct debit to pay off that credit card in full every single month, or a note in your diary so you go in and do it manually. Just you don't want to kind of get hit with any of those charges. And at the very least, you want to make sure you get the minimum repayment every month, because if you miss that, you'll get hit with all sorts of charges. And again, it goes down as a default on your credit report, and that's also bad news. I've got loads of other videos about credit reports which you can check out as well if you're not sure about how they work and why they're so important. So I'll link to those below. Well, let's have a look at the best credit cards then for September 2021. I do this update every month, plus I look at savings accounts and current accounts and loads of other videos as well. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and that little notification bell so you don't miss out on those. Right, okay, let's have a look at the best kind of cashback and reward offers. Mention those two, BA Amex and the Amex Platinum one at the top. They are well worth considering if you've already got Amex cards, or even if you haven't in some cases. But generally, the top one I go for in terms of the welcome bonus with American Express is the American Express Preferred Rewards Gold credit card. This one will earn you up to £184 in the first 3 months if you convert the membership reward points into Nectar points via that little Avios hack. So that's a nice little amount. That's the best you're going to get on the sort of standard everyday cards. Now this one does come with an annual fee of 125 quid, I think it is. Can't remember the top of my head what it is, but that is free for the first year. It could be 140 quid now actually. It's free for the first year. So after 12 months, you obviously want to cancel it. In terms of ongoing cashback, the best one out there, I think, personally, is the American Express Nectar credit card. This will give you the equivalent of 1% back. You get 2 Nectar points for every £1 you spend, which is essentially 1p. So that's 1% back. And you can get that at any shop that takes American Express, not just Nectar card retailers. So that is probably the best one going for you. There's also a welcome bonus there, but I would go with the ones I've mentioned elsewhere before looking at that. There is also an annual fee of 25 quid that comes in year 2. With both those cards and the ones I mentioned before, obviously make sure you either get a referral code from a friend, or I can link to one below, or go via Top Cashback or Quid Code to get those welcome bonuses. Now for non-American Express credit cards, again, it hasn't changed too much here. I still think personally the best one is the Barclaycard Rewards credit card, 0.25%. This is a Visa card on any spending at home and abroad, so fee-free spending overseas plus cashback on it, which makes it a real winner in terms of spending overseas. But you can use that any place that doesn't take American Express. The Lloyds cashback credit card, that one does give up to 0.5%, but as I mentioned in last month's video, I don't think many people, if you've got an American Express credit card, are actually going to be really getting to that amount of money or making enough to sort of change over from the Barclaycard or miss out on that fee-free spending overseas. Some people often say to me, what about the NatWest reward credit card? Well, this one, it comes with a fee, but not if you have a current account with them. That gets wiped out, so don't have to worry about that, and that current account has benefits as well. 0.25% everywhere, 1% at supermarkets. That could be a winner for you after the sort of recent drops in rates at most American Express credit cards. But if you've got that Nectar card, the Amex Nectar card, that will give you 1% at all the supermarkets. So it doesn't really make much difference. And in fact, if your local supermarket is a Waitrose, like mine is, then you might want to get the John Lewis and Partners card, 1.25% back at Waitrose, 0.25% elsewhere. And as ever, that Amazon Platinum credit card, if you are a Prime member, will give you 1.5% back at Amazon. Mentioned best travel card just now. That is still the Barclaycard Rewards one, 0.25% fee-free at home and abroad. You could also check out the Halifax Clarity card, which is decent. It doesn't give you cash back, but it does come with a welcome bonus at the moment. Now, 0% purchase credit cards are great if you need to spread the cost of something out over a decent amount of time. You obviously want to go for the one which is going to give you enough time to pay back what it is that you want to spend money on. But the longest one available right now is from Tesco Bank. You can get up to 22 months on that. M&S and Barclaycard will give you a sort of slightly shorter 20 months, but that is guaranteed. The Tesco one is up to, so you might not get that full amount of time. In terms of balance transfer credit cards, a great way for you to transfer your debt over to a different credit card and pay 0% interest for a certain amount of time while you work basically as much as you can to clear that debt so you aren't charged any expensive interest. The longest one here, up to 29 months with Sainsbury's Bank, or the Virgin Money also has that, HSBC, M&S Bank, all have got this. Now the big difference here is obviously the eligibility checker is important, which one you're most likely to get, but have a look at the transfer fee that comes in here. The lower that is, then the less money you're going to pay to transfer your debt across. So that could well be that even if someone gives you, got a better chance of getting accepted a card and it has a lower fee, but maybe it has 4 months less than the longest card, as long as you think you can clear that debt in that amount of time, that's a much, much better option. In fact, I think if you could clear your debt in 18 months, then the best card is the Santander credit card, the everyday credit card. That gives you only 18 months, so almost a year less than the top balance transfer credit cards, but there is no transfer fee, so it won't cost you anything to move that debt over. With all of these cards, not all these cards actually, with some of these cards, so with Barclaycard, Tesco, Santander, and maybe TSB as well, you can get cashback from Quidco and from Top Cashback up to 25 or 30 quid, depending on the card you're going for. Now that's quite important there as well to factor this in, because it could be that that cashback that you get from the cashback site means that you're better off paying a slightly higher fee with a different card. But no, factor that all in, put it in an online calculator and work out what's going to be best for you. And while we're on transfers, there's also those 0% money transfer credit cards. These are great if you're trying to clear an overdraft or clear your, let's say, a catalogue debt where you basically don't have a credit card to transfer across. Here, you move money, you pay a transfer fee, normally 3 or 4% from the credit card into your current account and spend it as you wish. Essentially, it's a kind of a cheap loan in some ways. The best one there is still MBNA in terms of length, up to 18 months. Tesco Bank offers a shorter one, up to 15 months. But once again, go via a cashback site to get a little bit of a boost there, up to 30 quid, depending on which cashback site. And those rates do change quite regularly. Now, in terms of credit building credit cards, if you're new to getting a credit card, again, loads of videos on this. Recently did one looking at your questions that you asked me about getting your credit card for the first time. So do check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. But what I would say here, and I always say this, is the best first credit card could be with any credit card company. It doesn't matter who it's with. The best one is the company that's going to give you that card, the highest chance of getting accepted. So if there are 20 cards listed when you go on a comparison site, but one of them is pre-approved, one of them says 100%, that's the card you go for, regardless of the rest, because you're definitely getting that card. This is obviously on the assumption that the reason you're getting your first credit card is to build your credit rating. Now, there are, if all things being equal though, and there are a number on offer, obviously the cashback cards I mentioned above, they're already really worth considering. But Barclaycard Forward, you can get £20 cashback on this from Quidco or Top Cashback, while the Amazon Classic one, you can get a £20 welcome bonus with that. So there you go, loads of cards. I will link to below the article on the blog, which has more information about all of these cards and any new cards that come along until the next update. They'll be detailed there. So if you're watching this later in the month, do make sure you read that so you've got the most up-to-date information. My name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. If you could leave me a comment below, hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. Until next time, cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.